would you waive your no trade again? What, 3 times in 4 years?
I just don't think I even have to think about that. I think we're going to play better baseball, and it's going to be even a moot point to even talk about. So I think we're going to win here.
Max Scherzer joins us right now on FT. Max, great to have you back on, man. Good to see you. And just I wanted to jump right into how last night went, and also, this team's on a season high 5-game winning streak, so times are good right now, right?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. Yeah, I had got another win, keep the winning streak going. We're starting to play some baseball, some good baseball here. We're some winning baseball, and it's exciting because we've been in this kind of lull for a while, and now we're starting to come out of it, and we're just playing as a team. When the pitchers pitch, the hitters hit, bullpen does their job, and we're winning ball games. So just gotta ride this wave and just keep it going.
Max, is there any coincidence that you got hot right when you came back? I mean, do you go in every day to post and say, "Look, guys, it's me. All you needed was
I wish it was just that simple, but I don't hit anymore, and you don't want me to hit at all. So no, we're just playing better as a team. Up and down the lineup, everybody's contributing, and we're just getting the timely hits when we need to get the timely hits.
How'd you feel last night, Max? I mean, 6 innings, or actually a lot more than that. Geez, 6 innings. That's like beneath you nowadays. 6 2/3 innings. Sorry, 8 hits, 3 earnings, 6 punch outs. You gave up a couple home runs. How'd you feel though? And more importantly, how was your thumb nerve kind of thing from like you said, gripping the ball a little bit too hard because no stuff?
Yeah, so physically, I'm actually in a much better spot. I'm ramping up. I'm kind of gaining strength every single time out. Start against the Padres. In the 7th inning, I was fatigued, but I could still pitch. Whereas last night against the Angels, I felt better in the 7th inning. Still felt strong. Still felt like I had my best fastball there in the 7th. So to me, that's a sign of I'm building up. That was my 6th start on the season. Counting 2 rehab starts. So, that's kind of anticipated. Nothing that there's anything to pause or concern over. And as I keep going, hopefully I just continue to get better, and as I get more into midseason form.
All right. Do you think you and I talked about this a little bit? You kind of had the nerve thing, the thumb thing, and we talked about it a little bit. And you've talked about this too. Do you think it's because the baseball is different? Because we've had guys come on here and say the baseball is 100% different than it was in past years. And do you think it's because you have to squeeze it just a little bit harder, and that's a reason why more guys are maybe getting injured?
Well, there's a lot of moving parts of what we're going to talk about on that. My thumb, my radial nerve, that's doing a lot better. Finally kind of got some information out of that. Got the nerve under control. And really how that moves up my arm too. The radial nerve is actually in the back of my tricep. And so I've kind of gotten that freed up as well. So that whole radial nerve, man, that's been a really tough thing to try to navigate through because it affects not only from my thumb, but all the way up into my shoulder. So given that we've gotten that under control, I feel like that's why I've been able to get back out on the mound sooner. It's just frustrating because if I didn't have that, I got out of back surgery. I would have been pitching back, on May 10th. So it's a pretty substantial injury, but I finally got that under control.
Do you think Major League Baseball cares about the health of pitchers? I'm just being frankly honest. A guy that should know because you've seen the era that you've thrown in and where we're going to now. Do you think they care, or do they just see pitchers as assets?
Well, I think they care. Obviously, they would like to make, I like to hope and think they do. And I've had conversations where I think they do. And where, what are we going to do about this? I mean, the pitching injuries are at an all-time high. We know that, that we got to do something to help that out. And what are the doctors saying? What can the doctors say? What can we do immediately? And both Neil Elitrosh and Keith Meister, the guys who are performing all these surgeries, on all these, elbow reconstructions, and what they've said is, hey, pitchers need a little bit more grip. I get where we were at with the whole grip situation, got out of control with the spider tack, and we had to crack down on it. I get that, but where we're at now, now we're from their perspective, from the doctor's perspective, they're saying, hey, guys are over squeezing the ball, and that's blowing out forearms, blowing out the elbows, blowing out the shoulders, we've seen more lat and teres strains. So it's kind of the whole arm injury. They're seeing more of it, more substantial injuries. The severity of the injuries is much higher. And their formal recommendation to MLB is to have the pitchers have more grip.
And do you think Major League Baseball is going to listen? Do you feel like you see anything, or is it just too slow and we just need to be patient and let all these pitchers continue to get hurt?
Yeah, I mean, when you talk to MLB, their solution to this is they try to come up with a sticky ball, because that and the point of that would be to level the playing field so that every pitcher would have the same amount of grip, that no one would gain an advantage over each other. But there's two main problems with that approach. One, however they're going to devise a sticky ball, there's no way it's going to perform the same in hot weather as it is in cold weather. And all the different environments that we have to pitch in, I still think you're going to have a huge range on how that ball actually performs in terms of grip, in terms of spin rate. And so that's one issue that I see a problem with it. And two, you still have an enforcement problem. What happens when somebody grabs sunscreen and then goes and touches a sticky ball? Are we still going to have checks? Are we still going to have umpires checking hands? And then they're going to be able to differentiate that sunscreen, that's a sticky ball. So you still have an enforcement problem, even in a sticky ball world when you're trying to level the playing field. So, I get where MLB wants to come from. If we're actually trying to say, hey, what's the sticky ball actually trying to do? It's trying to say, hey, let's level the playing field and let's just add a little bit of spin to the baseball. Okay, well, if you say that, pitchers can do that. We can do that already and we can do this for free. And we have all the spin rate technology that can measure everything down to the absolute minute spin of the ball. And so when I've talked to MLB about this, I've said, hey, how much added spin would you be willing to give pitchers? That wouldn't affect the ball flight, but would give us, a little bit more grip. And it's actually really small. Just if you could, a quarter to half turn of the ball more, where you're not increasing the vertical break, you're not increasing, the spin rate per se. That 1/2 turn of the ball is actually 75 RPMs. I mean, so it kind of gets convoluted how much. And we talk spin rates and big jumps. We're talking multiple hundreds additive spin before you actually see true performance. But when you're talking about something under 100. It's negligible, and the hitters can't even tell when that's going on. And so, I've said, hey, why don't we try to navigate this issue together? Let the pitchers figure this out. What it could be that gives that spin, that added, 75 RPM spin, half a turn of a baseball, and at the same time, that would help out the pitchers because you wouldn't have to overgrip the baseball. So I think there's a little safety element here where giving pitchers a little bit extra grip would actually be beneficial to us without being detrimental to the game or giving the pitchers an advantage over the hitter, I should say.
Max, when these conversations are going down, is this just you with, say, one person with the league? Are there other veteran pitchers or just pitchers in general involved? Because there's not a committee for this on the players' side, is there?
I've had enough talks to. This is like I said, this has been going on for years. When I was actually on the boards with the, with the union and dealing with this and the competition committees and looking through looking through this issue. I'd say I've been speaking on this issue for about 5 years behind the scenes. I get it. It's been an ongoing issue. When I first thought the crackdown would happen, we would see more hit by pitches in the head, and the ball would be slipping out of pitchers' hands and drilling people in the head. Has happened, maybe not to the degree of maybe I thought, but the injury impact that has happened, I think, is on the pitching side. That the elbows have, the arms have been getting impacted by this, and so I also believe this is also part why starting pitchers are throwing fewer pitches in the game. That when you're overgripping a ball, you're cashing out the forearm, and you can't make it 105 pitches anymore. And that's what's showing up in the data. The data is telling us that, like, hey, once you get past pitch 90, like, these are now high risk pitches. So actually, this is where it gets a little counterintuitive. I would say is that if you actually allow the pitcher to have a little bit more grip, you're actually going to get more offense because the starter can stay in the game longer. And when the starter can stay in the game longer, third time through, that's where the offense is at. I think everybody would win by having the pitcher have a little bit more grip. You get more offense. Pitchers are healthier, and the starters are out there longer.
There's been a lot of stuff. You guys are playing better as the Rangers now, but trades. Your name has come up as trade bait again. You wouldn't waive your no trade again, would you? I know you guys are playing better, but let's say things don't continue to go up. Would you waive your no trade again? Would it be 3 times in 4 years?
Yeah, I'm not going to do that, but I just don't think I even have to think about that. I think we're going to play better baseball, and it's going to be even a moot point to even talk about. So I think we're going to win here.
I like that. Do you have an update, Max, on any of your friends that are coming back soon? I feel like that's been one of the storylines. You mentioned the offense picking up the pace, which was surprising at the beginning of the season, right, for the Rangers. But this month's been better for them. What about like DeGrom, for example? Do you see him coming back to join you sometime, early on in the second half?
I sure hope so. I would love for him to join. Obviously, he's a difference maker. But I just don't know how the Tommy John rehab. I've never experienced that, and this is his second. I don't know how you feel in those situations when you're coming back. But he's throwing the ball great. He's looking great in his bullpens. So he's definitely on the path to get back. It's complete speculation where he'll actually be back. But we're all excited if he can complete the rehab and get back this year.
So you won a World Series last year with the Rangers. Obviously, you won one with the Nationals as well. You've experienced this and what the next season is like. Not many people can do this. Can you put into words what it is like, and not just for you, I'm saying for a team to follow up a World Series after they go through what they go through in October? It's kind of leading me to the question of how come we can't find back-to-back champs in baseball? Of course, it could happen this year for the Rangers, but why haven't we seen it since the Yankees, a quarter of a century ago at this point?
Winning's hard. This is hard. This is Major League Baseball. This is the best in the world. You got teams lining up constantly, making off-season, deals and everything to chase you down. So, especially in the format, you play 162 games and you condense everything in the 5-game series, 7-game series. Anything can happen. And so, going through October is a really difficult process, and anything can happen. So. That's why it's really hard to get a repeat winner.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Hey, Max, how much do you put into your All-Star Game voting? The All-Star Game is in Texas this year. Are you a guy? Because listen, I play with guys that really cared. I play with guys that handed it to the PR guy, and I play with guys that said, "Hey, Max, who'd you vote for? I'll just copy yours and go on." So, how much do you think it matters? And the other thing about the All-Star Game is now there's 85 All-Stars. We've already seen Sale move his day, so he doesn't pitch. Right, we see Rafael Devers, who gets 4 hits a game, say that his shoulder hurts, he can't go to the game. So how much do you actually put into what the All-Star Game means now?
I think it means a lot. I definitely look at that ballot and I fill it out, and I'm not just being a homer and going to vote for my own guys. I vote for who I think are the best and the most deserving to be there, because I know it's how big of a moment it is, how special it is, and if you feel like you've earned it, you definitely feel like you belong there. And so I've been fortunate enough to be able to go a handful of times. So I know how much that means. In terms of the importance of actually playing a game, first off, I actually do think it's the best all-star game of any major sport. It's better watched than the Pro Bowl or NBA or NHL, where there's no defense whatsoever. Actually, it's almost the opposite in baseball. You get all the pitchers coming in just blowing cheese as much as they can, so that you're getting actual real matchups in those situations. And so I think from a fan's perspective, the All-Star Game is actually probably the best one to watch of all the All-Star games. And for guys that that need a blow, they need, I get it. The season's hard enough. If your body's not really ready to step into that arena, yeah, I get it. You need something. But for me, I always enjoyed pitching in All-Star games. For me, I saw it as kind of a tune-up for the for postseason baseball, playoff baseball, because there's times where, hey, I might come in relief and I gotta go through and one inning and let's see what we got. And the All-Star game is you're facing the best hitters in the game at this point in time. So you got to go out to get those guys out. So it kind of gives you a warm up of what could happen in October. So I always enjoyed pitching in it.
Could you enjoy it more next year when you're an all-star? Could you enjoy it more? Because we talked to Ross Stripling about the fact that you didn't give my guy Ross Stripling a high five when you were going in to start. Or do you have no other gear when you're going in to pitch a game, whether it's the All-Star game or Game 7 of the World Series?
Yeah, I only got one speed. When the light switch goes on, that's it. Like, I got to be in my zone, otherwise. And the reason I say that is, and I learned about this in 2021, these guys can hit the ball extremely hard, and it can come right back at you. And if you're not absolutely 100% on and not ready to duck, that a ball screaming back at you at 110 can really do some really bad things to you if you get hit by that. And sure enough, Vladdy Jr. Smoked the ball. I mean, this is inches away from my face, and I ducked out just in the nick of time. I think there's like a photo of like where the ball is just like barely above my ear. And so, yeah, that's really scary. So when you step on the mound, you're facing these type of hitters. You got to be 100% on, ready to go at them. Otherwise, if you're kind of halfing around, joking around out there, something really bad could happen.
Okay, Max. Little interesting question for you because you always have thoughts on this, and I think you're also you're a Boris guy. So, what are your thoughts on Snell and Monty and what they went through, missing spring training? They've come back and they've struggled. Obviously, Snell and Monty have gone on the IL. Snell's came back now, but what are your thoughts on spring training? Because I always thought I'm a position player. Give me 2 weeks, I can be ready. But as a pitcher, you need that ramp up. You need those big league innings, right?
It's like a yes and no, because I'm kind of going through it myself where, I kind of miss spring training and doing it. I think every pitcher is different. Every scenario is different. It's hard to say and look at somebody else's situation and know exactly what they're going through. But you do need a ramp up, and you got to be able to simulate those innings. And for me, I feel like later in my career here, I'm better at that I can kind of show up anywhere and I can get my work in. I really know what that is. Younger in my career, spring training is a little bit more important. So it's really kind of where everybody is at in their situation and the facilities they're able to get to, the bats they're able to get, matched up against. So it's really an individual case-by-case basis and really for them to speak on.
Quick follow, last one for you, Max. Is there any way to fix getting signings done earlier? Those guys were vocal about it being annoying. I know the families hate it. I'm going to chime in because I'm the non-player on this show. Fans hate it because I don't know who my team is going to sign. I can't buy season tickets with confidence. Like, it hurts marketing, putting guys up on posters. Like, it's just not cool. I know there's no deadline that can necessarily be created, but how do we get activity sooner? Because it's affecting the sport when we actually play.
Yeah, like you said, I get it. How would you actually navigate this? This is CBA talk. How would you do this? You can't have a deadline. That's just not going to happen. The only thing that, when I hear that, the only way to make teams actually sign players is to have the league be more competitive. That if when you have this marketplace, the owners are trying to weigh out the market and see how the chips fall and see if they can get, they go through the trade market first. They're always looking to see if they can, trade, use their prospects and trade instead of having to make the free agent sign. So you kind of look at that, the trade market first. And then, once they realize they don't want to pay the prospect price, that's when they'll actually pay with dollars. So it's a convoluted process. But to expedite that would be to have more teams being competitive, having the bottom, half of the league really trying to chase down those extra wins because you have teams that still are in the offseason. They're saying, hey, we're not in a competitive window, so we're not going to sign any players. Well, that's just taking away, a potential landing place for, for somebody within the market. So you kind of get this top down and trickle down and trickle up economics work all kind of working together here. And if you wanted the free agents to actually move faster, having, policing the bottom would be the way to go.
Yep,
Max,
I like that.
Yeah, Max, I didn't know Missouri was such a smart school. I didn't realize that they produced such smart people. I mean, with all this, economics
Yeah,
up
no,
and down.
the Florida Gators, I got some econ background, so I know what I'm talking about.
SEC. What do you say about SEC, AJ?
It's just
It
weird.
just means more. It just
It
means
just
more.
means
right?
more.
Max,
Yeah.
Just means more, yeah. It's weird for me to say that because I'm always going to think of myself as a Big 12 guy, but definitely, I appreciate what the SEC is doing now.
It just means more, even education-wise. It just
Weird,
means
right?
more. Max, it was great having you on as always. We appreciate it. The fans do a ton to hear from you. The show's on TV now too, which is important. So thanks for joining us as always, and good luck through the stretcher. Enjoy some of the All-Star break too.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, guys.
We're going over our little partnership with AG1, a foundational nutrition supplement that delivers daily nutrients and gut health support. It's backed by multiple research studies, so you can trust what you're putting in your body. I am holding something that you can get a free 1-year supply of if you sign up at drinkag1.com/foul. That's the vitamin D3K2. We're right here.
It's almost done. I need to get the rest of my.
It is not even close to almost done. What are you
It's
talking
almost
about?
done.
It's literally right here.
No, the label. It's like, okay.
No.
It's going to be done.
Okay,
I
this
forgot it on my last
should
trip.
last you a while though. So you should be doing probably one droplet.
One
I gotta look. Yeah,
It's-
one droplet.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
lines on there.
Yeah.
Big
Stop,
fellow like
tell
AJ.
your family to stop stealing your AG1.
Yes, they definitely were stealing it, but these are not.
Ooh,
Oh,
wow!
How many you got left there, AJ?
I need
This
more.
was-
I got 3 left. I'm going to need more because I'm on the road again next week. So I'm going to need somebody to send me some more.
I'll bring you some. I'll bring my buddy AJ.
Oh yeah, you got a nice.
He bought me a hat, so I'll bring him some ale.
You got a nice stash.
I think I have 7
Very
left in the house, so I need more. So Scott, get on it.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Well, I'll let everyone know, unlike other products, which only test their ingredients in isolation, AG1 tests their formula as a whole. So we recommend AG1 for whole body health, and we continue our partnership with them. You can start your journey with AG1 by getting a 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 for free, plus 5 free AG1 travel packs when you make your first purchase at drinkag1.com/foul. They'll throw that in there for you. Again, it's drinkag1.com/foul.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.